This time on Monkey Life. Baby orangs Rika and Bulu have a special play date.
We have seen a lot of them confidently going off and playing with individuals on their own, separate from each other. Rika's actually taking quite a shine to Xiaoquai.
Gibbons, Mikado, Tio and Zach discover what it's like to hang out with the boys.
Hopefully we will see 3 happy boys having a great time together.
And life is sweet for the bachelor chimps.
They're not going to last particularly long for the chimps, but they are something that they'll really enjoy. There's lots of treats inside.
Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
That's one been grabbed.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. For the park's 2 youngest orangutans, it's been a very busy summer, full of new adventures. After difficult starts in life, Bulu Mata and Rika, now both almost 2, were hand-reared at the park's creche for orphaned orangutans. Bulu was born at Budapest Zoo, but his mother sadly died when he was just a few days old. At the tender age of 3 months, he arrived at the park. A few weeks later, Rika came from Berlin Zoo, where she'd been rejected by her mother. So the babies were raised together by the park's care team and became the firmest of friends. As they've got older, the pair have spent less time with the primate care team and more time together, exploring new playrooms and even the great outdoors. They've grown in confidence and have been introduced to new friends. Firstly, 6-year-old Sylvester, and then adult female O'Sheen, who both live in the orangutan nursery. There are 3 other members in this group. 4-year-old Awan, who they've met, and her adopted mum Xiaoquai and her 6-year-old son Jin, who they'll meet today. It's good for all the orangutans in the nursery group to meet each other. It's hoped they'll all get on together and that everyone will grow up learning how to live with other orangs. And today's going to be Bulu Mata and Rika's first day visiting the whole gang.
They have built up quite a nice relationship with O'Sheen and Sylvester so far, so hopefully that will continue.
Firstly, Jin is joining them in the bedrooms. As always, when anything new is happening, the youngsters stick close together. It might be a wise idea.
Jin can be a little bit more boisterous. He is kind of the more robust animal in this group. And the babies just have to get used to the fact that Jin's a little bit of a tough nut, really, and you've just got to get on with it. You know, he's actually a great playmate if you can tolerate the slapping initially.
As Jin is a little bit rough and tumble, the team decide it's time to let all 7 orangs in together and give them access to a bit more space. So they head out into the tunnel that leads to their outdoor enclosure. Rika and Bulu lead the way, followed closely by Jin, Sylvester and Awan. Awan's keen to play. And so is Jin. The next big character for the pair to meet is their mum, Xiaoquai. She heads straight to the pair to check them out, making a gentle approach. And it's confident Rika who shows some attitude. Sylvester thinks it might be too much too soon, so positions himself between them. He's spent quite a bit of time with them now and is becoming like an older brother.
Sylvester's being a little bit of a guardian angel. He's actually become a little bit protective over them, which is quite good. So whenever Gin or perhaps one of the other adults gets a bit too rough, Sylvester's actually getting in there, protecting them, pushing them away, and then having a wrestle with Gin for a little bit, and then they go back together. So it's actually working out quite well.
After the initial meeting, it's Rika who seems to have taken a bit of a shine to the big female, as she playfully bops her on the head with wood wool. Xiao Kuai is an experienced mum, and, for the moment, seems interested in the new youngster. While Rika's occupied with Xiao Kuai, Bulu's finding his own fun.
Bulu has actually been quite a rough and tumble character who's absolutely enjoyed playing absolutely loads with Jin, wrestling with Sylvester and Awan as well, so it's really good for them all to be using up all of their energy and having lots of orangutan wrestles.
Rika and Bulu have rarely been out of each other's reach, but today they're gaining independence and making more new friends. It's a great sign.
We have seen a lot of them confidently going off and playing with individuals on their own, separate from each other. So we've seen Bulu interacting with Jin and with Sylvester, and Awan, and Rika's actually taking quite a shine to Xiao Kuai.
The baby orangutans seem to like their new family. Rika and Bulu start heading towards the outdoor area. But their new playmates are still in the tunnel, and they change their minds. They want to stay close to Jin, Awan, and Sylvester. Eventually, they all decide it's time to take the play outside. Rika heads straight out this time and gets her turn to play with Awan. But Bulu's a bit distracted. Starting life as orphans was tragic, but both Bulu and Rika seem to have found their place with their new adopted family. A few days ago, a major move took place at the park. Mikado, Tio, and Zach, adolescent male golden-cheeked gibbons who had outgrown their family groups, were put together to form the park's first ever bachelor gibbon group. Zach stayed in the enclosure he'd been living in already, and Mikado and Tio transferred from theirs. Since then, the boys have had a few brief meetings indoors, and they've all been given solo access to the outside. But today, they're going out all together for the first time. It's the next step, but it's a concern for the primate care team.
So when you look at these gibbons, you know, they look skinny and fragile and quite a sort of soft and fluffy looking cute little thing. So you wouldn't think that they're actually an aggressive animal or anything like that. But they are. When they do have a fight, it is very quick. They go fast, they're furious, and they are armed with these extremely dangerous teeth. You're talking about some serious injuries down to the bone very quickly. So it's still a worrying time right now that we want to watch out for that kind of behaviour happening, and it could happen very easily.
Every step of the process will be closely monitored by the staff who know the gibbons and the subtleties of their behaviour very well. With everything ready, it's time to head outside.
Theo! Come here, buddy.
First out will be Tio. Aged almost 5, he's the youngest and most nervous of the trio. Next out is Zach. He's a confident 6-year-old. He grew up in this enclosure, but he's going to have to get used to his new housemates. Last, it's Mikado. Also 6, he's the eldest of the group. He's an assertive gibbon, but unlike Zach and Tio, who were raised by their parents, he was orphaned at a zoo in France and is more human-focused than the other two. And he quickly comes to see Cat at the fence.
Good boy. He just wants me to hold his foot, and that kind of just reassures him that life's okay. It gives him a little bit of comfort.
With Mikado feeling reassured, Zach tries to catch his and Tio's attention.
Zach is just playing. He's just having fun with a stick. You know, it's showing off all his best moves and his acrobatic skills, and, you know, it's just showing he's a good, fun guy, and he wants to play. The other two boys were both really interested. We saw Tio sticking his head out, looking up, watching what was going on, and at some point, hopefully, they'll go kind of, yeah, I want to join in that game.
Tio isn't ready to join in just yet. Instead, he's found himself a hiding place. Mikado, however, is up for some fun and chases Zach around the enclosure. After a short time, a tentative Tio gets the confidence to come out for a quick look around. The young Gibbons are beginning to get used to each other's presence, and Mikado is relaxed enough to break into song. It's a great sign and shows that he's feeling more content in his new situation. It's still early days for the new group, and only time will tell how they'll do long term. But so far, Kat's pleased with how things are going.
It's such a relief to be at this point. So we just hope now that it continues to go from strength to strength, and hopefully we will see 3 happy boys having a great time together.
At the Bachelor Chimps enclosure, the primate care team are preparing an intriguing surprise for the sometimes rowdy group. Sean and Lisa are filling these colourful papier-mâché balls with some of the chimps' favourite snacks, then topping them up with runny honey. Before letting the chimps out, they're going to tie them all around their enclosure.
They're basically replica beehives, so we want to really encourage the chimps' natural behaviour, breaking apart beehives to get to honey and rewards that are inside.
There are enough for all 15 chimps to have at least one each. In the wild, chimps are known to enjoy honey, and the park's chimpanzees are equally fond of the delicacy.
They're not going to last particularly long for the chimps, but they are something that they'll really enjoy. There's lots of treats inside, so because it's new, they will have a lot of fun with them.
The boys rush out, with Mojo leading the way, and immediately spot the colourful hives, prompting lots of excited calls as they race up the climbing frame. They've never seen anything like this before. Half-brothers Buxom and Jester share their puzzlement as they examine one of the mock hives. Paco's collected one, and he's taking it off to examine in peace. Chimps are very curious by nature. Sammy watches with interest while Buxom busily investigates what's inside these strange objects. Meanwhile, Kiko's trying to pull one through the cargo net, but that's just not going to work. Paco's found a second ball. He's pretty pleased with himself, but doesn't want anyone else close by while he inspects them. And at last, Kiko's managed to get the ball. But a bit of a squabble breaks out. He's not involved, but still loses his hard-earned prize. It's very frustrating. Lisa and Sean have hidden the treats among straw and cardboard to make them harder to find. But chimps are highly intelligent and will investigate anything new until they fully understand what it is. And if it involves food, they'll keep going until every last morsel is eaten or licked up. Ben considers using his find to put on a display, but no one's watching, and the lure of the treats inside is too much. He might as well work out how to open it. Mojo's hive contains dried spaghetti. He's not impressed. But when he digs deeper and finds some of it's covered in honey, it's a different story. Chimps have a very sweet tooth. The bachelors are making short work of the papier-mâché balls and their contents. The only ones left are harder to reach. In the wild, chimps go to great lengths to forage for highly priced foods, and the park's primates don't give up easily either. The replica hives have been a great hit, leaving the bachelor boys feeling life is, well, sweet. In recent weeks, there have been quite a few newly rescued monkeys arriving at the park. The latest two are common marmosets Chuck and Sid. Originally said to both be boys, Alison spotted Sid is in fact a girl.
I think it's a girl.
Sydney.
Yeah. How funny.
The park needs all available space for rescued animals, so to avoid the patter of tiny marmoset feet, Chuck recently had a vasectomy operation. The new pair, who both began life as part of the pet trade, had previously been living alone, but now they're enjoying each other's company.
They're a really good couple, Sid and Chuck. They get on really well. Sid does look over to Chuck for reassurance. Chuck's the more kind of dominant, in-charge character, and she'll just follow him around. And Chuck, I think, does look after her as well, so it's a good bond going on.
As the couple have hit it off so well, they've recently gained a new sense of freedom and started exploring the great outdoors for the first time. At their former homes, neither had outside space, so it's a new experience for them, which each day the care staff make extra special.
This is something that we provide as enrichment. On a daily basis for all of our animals, we usually hang up something or hide something around. It encourages their natural behaviour and just, yeah, keeps them interested, really. It's just exciting for them.
Today, Hannah's got cups full of wood wool with insects hidden inside, and coconut shells with cereal and jam.
Sid! Chuck! Come on, you two!
Chuck's first out.
Come on, Sid!
Sid pops her head out for a look around, but still finds the outdoor enclosure a little intimidating. Confident Chuck is out like a bullet and straight to the insects. He devours a tasty waxworm. It's full of nutrients and would be part of their natural diet in the wild.
Come on, Sid!
Next, Chuck finds the cereal and jam. They're a bit trickier to get hold of. Chuck's getting all the goodies to himself right now, but Sid loves being close to him and plucks up the courage to head out to see what he's up to. Warily, she starts to explore. She's much more interested in getting close to Chuck than the breakfast treats. And he reciprocates her affection. Chuck's in pretty good shape, but Sid has some serious mobility issues as a result of rickets. It may help to explain her more cautious personality.
Sid is a little bit nervous. It's because it is a new area still for her, so she's still getting used to her surroundings. But because she is quite fragile as well, her bones aren't as strong as Chuck's. Chuck's a bit more confident moving around, but she still needs to get used to moving around on the branches. So it's just letting her gain that confidence to do that.
It may take Sid a little longer than Chuck to gain her self-assurance, but the future is looking positive for the pair as they enjoy their new life together. Sid and Chuck aren't the only marmosets to have arrived at the park over the last year. Early in the summer, Alison collected black-tufted marmoset Ruby from a family in Grimsby.
Hi, you. Are you a good girl?
She had the run of the household and even popped next door to see the neighbours. Before long, Ruby, the biggest marmoset the park has ever had, found a friend in Oscar, the smallest. Other new arrivals this year included Dino the Capuchin, who had never met a female Capuchin before, but settled happily with male Winslow and 4 girls. Azzy the squirrel monkey arrived from Wales and moved in with the other squirrel monkeys, plus Jethro the Saki monkey, who shares their enclosure.
Oh, hello.
And there was a surprise arrival for Jethro, female Saki Chloe from France. But love was not on the menu. Chloe was up for a tete-a-tete, but Jethro's not the romantic type. Sadly, there have been some goodbyes at the park too, including elderly squirrel monkey Samantha and dominant male woolly monkey Oscar, dad to newly born little Olivia, and chimp Tico, Hananya's second in command. It was a big shock when he died of a heart attack, but the group soon settled down again, helped by the presence of baby Thelma, whose antics mean there's always fun to be had. A chimp was at the centre of an extraordinary medical operation when Lola had her sight restored after it was discovered she had cataracts.
We'll be doing the right eye.
The operation was a real success.
Phew.
Fantastic, thank you everyone.
So much so that next in line was Gibbon Ella.
That's just about as hard a cataract as it's possible to do, that is.
All in all, it's been a busy year for the park's primates.
OK, you have that bit then.
And their carers.
Good boy.
But the work of the team at Monkey World is never finished. There are still more primates around the world needing help and a home. And the park's role as European creche for orphaned orangutans is due to come into play again in the very near future. Little Lauren from Russia will hopefully arrive soon to join Rika and Bulu and the other youngsters in the Orang nursery.